our alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, 1994 was when history was created for the first time. The hospitality couple, Dr. Bose and Mrs. Bose, started this lovely institution, a prodigy that we all are proud of. And it's opened its doors in 1994, and ever since it's been a journey that's nostalgic and then absolutely stunning. Students have been graduating for the last so many years and set all over the world. They are today in America, in France, in Middle East, in all the continents. Well, I guess there are only two places where today you will not find our alumni, and that is Arctic and Antarctic, because there are no hotels there. I guess maybe there might be two who might be still in Antarctic, or at least crossing it through a cruise line, I would say. But nevertheless, we don't have that information as of now. And without waiting much ado, I would like to call upon the man behind IIHM, the man who initiated this 27 years back, in 1994, along with his lovely wife, Mrs. Bose. But I'd like to call upon Dr. Suborno Bose, Chairman, IIHM Hotel School, to open the event and welcome all our alumni around the world. Over to you, Dr. Bose.
Yeah, thank you very much. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's such a great pleasure to talk with the alumni of IIHM, and first time happening the eConclave, and we are absolutely super delighted to organize this. First of all, I'll start off by thanking all of the alumni who would be part of the eConclave today. But then this is going to be something that we will be doing quite often. So a lot of the alumni was writing to me in the Facebook, why are we not be there? And I said that just wait for a couple of months and we'll be coming with second series. So definitely, as we all know, that IIHM is a dare to do journey for all of us, and it's been such a passion. It's a part of our life. As we always say, that's one thing that we live and die for, and it's such a pleasure that even in these tough times, the pandemic all over the world, that the students, the alumni, they are absolutely keeping a very positive view. And industry is struggling a little bit, yes, but then I'm sure that it will be all over. And the purpose for this eConclave again is to bring the alumni together. Not just together means not just under the IIHM platform, but also together among yourself. A lot of alumni don't know each other. So what we have done is that we have just signed with a very big company, vendor of Microsoft, and we are doing kind of a mini LinkedIn for us, a private LinkedIn for IIHM, where we would be writing very soon to all the alumni to register, so that you can be part of our alumni network on a digital platform. And so even apart from the official assignments, we'll be talking to you, and officially we would be passing that particular link to. LinkedIn is public and it's big, but this is an IIHM LinkedIn, and this is a privately owned, only for the students and only for the alumni of IIHM for the last 27 years. So that is something which we will be planning for last so many years, but this year we have actually cracked it, and I'm so happy that I'm announcing this great news to all of you in this absolute wonderful eConclave platform. I'll also like to thank all the people, all the directors, IIHM campuses. We have got 10 campuses, as we all know. We have come a long way from the last 27 years, and thanks to all the faculty, thanks to all the associate well-wishers, and thanks to the alumni. I still not forget in any of my lectures. I think I give around 100 lectures in a year in different platforms, and in any of the lectures, I always say alumni first, and then I call students. I always thank the alumni and the students, if you have heard me ever. So I feel that an alumni are the nucleus of any institution anywhere in the world. Today, whether it's IIT or whether it's a Harvard Business School or whether it's a Cornell, I think it's the alumni that made it famous. And I think for IIHM, it is no different. I think it's the alumni, it's the attitude, it's a love, it's affection, it's a fondness, and the success of the alumni that has made IIHM what it is today. And I like to once again reiterate that I always say that it is yours. So please do come, please do write to us, please do be a part of the IIHM, because we have got the tagline which was there for the last 10 years now, that the best 3 years. And I'm sure that IIHM gives you the best 3 years of your life. And a lot of the alumni comes back to me after 10 years. I meet them in the airport. I meet them in very weird places, and after 10 years, they come and say that today I'm a general manager of a hotel, but I tell you what, I said, what? That 3 years was the best 3 years of our life. And so we do realize maybe after we mature, after we go to the life and career, and after we are successful in the industry, that 3 years and that IIHM 3 years, the best 3 years of our life, your life, our life. And so with that, I think it's a great initiative. I thank my team members, all the team members who have worked to make this a success. And I'm sure that we are going to be spending absolutely productive next 2 hours with some of the most wonderful alumni. The only sad part is that we could have 1,000 of them, but we can't have 1,000, honestly. So we have to go in a small trenches of maybe 20, 23. But today, as we are talking, 23 alumni would be sharing their views from 23 countries. And that is what makes this the first ever eConclave, this global eConclave of IIHM alumni, so popular, so historic, that 23 alumni talking from 23 countries, alumni who are from different nationalities. I know we have got people from South Korea, people from Thailand, people from Armenia, and what all not. And of course, people from India who would be talking from different parts of the world. And I think let's bring some smile during this time of a pandemic, and let's stand together, support each other, because at the end of the day and the beginning of the story, we're all part of the great institution IIHM. We're all IIHMite. And so let's start up this. And thank you very much for joining this historic first ever eConclave of the IIHM alumni. First ever, not only eConclave, it's a global eConclave. And I promise that it will be coming back very soon, just not 1 or 2, but many in different avatars and different themes. And we will be able to bring as many alumni together through our alumni site, which I mentioned. So with that, I would like to officially, digitally, virtually, like to inaugurate this first ever, very historic, first ever on the 6th of May, 2020, the first ever global eConclave of IIHM alumnus. So thank you very much for joining in. Thank you all the participants. Thank you all the thousands of people in the Facebook Live, the YouTube Live right now listening to us. Thank you all the faculty members and the friends and well-wishers and associates of IIHM. And thank you everybody. And let's have a great time for the next 2 hours. Let's enjoy, and all the very best. God bless and take care.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bose, for sharing your views. Absolutely, you're true. The whole world is connected onto the Zoom today. And, we've got students from all over the world. Our next speaker is Professor David Foskett. He's a legend, ladies and gentlemen. He's an MBE, member of the British Empire. He's written numerous books, author of the world-famous Practical Cookery and Theory of Hospitality and Catering. Well, for all those of you who are not aware about this, he is there with us today to all of you, all the way from London. Professor David Foskett, over to you.
Well, good morning from London, a very sunny day in London. What an honour to be able to speak at the first conclave of the alumni across the world. Sunny day in London reminds me of the sunny days to come. Yes, we're all in lockdown. Yes, the world has got its problems at the moment, but we've overcome them before. We're going to overcome them again. The future looks promising because the human spirit will get through this. And people have an insatiable appetite with the travel industry. The hotels will open their doors, and within a few months, we'll start to trickle back, and we will back in the next couple of years, we will be back to where we were. I have lots of confidence in that because we have to bounce back, and we will bounce back. So the future, you, the alumni, young people of IIHM graduates who are around the world, you carry the very special logo of IIHM, the powerful logo of IIHM, and the magical logo of IIHM, because the future belongs to you and the future is IIHM. Because of the work that you're currently doing, the knowledge that you've gained from IIHM and the alumni, there's much strength in alumni because we're all teachers and we're all learners. And as you're all over the world, you will see different systems, different practices, different ways of doing things. And we have to learn by that. And I have to say to myself each day, why doesn't the British government learn more about what Germany are doing in the pandemic, about South Korea? Because there is a lot to learn. And that's why I always say, listen to what people have to say. That's why you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen, because there's so much to learn. We're all teachers. We're all learners. The alumni is so powerful. Can you imagine all you young people from around the world, the knowledge that you have as a collective body around the world, the knowledge you have is superior. It's fantastic because you can share that knowledge. And that knowledge is power. So the alumni of IIHM is so powerful. That knowledge can spread across the world. And it's going to make the hospitality industry a better place, a more knowledgeable place, and a more hospitable place. Because also in your DNA, you are naturally hospitable. The Indian culture is naturally hospitable. And we have much to learn from you across the world. Yes, we're in dark days, but there is always light at the end of the tunnel. The sun today in London is shining brightly. And that reminds me that there are better days to come. Some countries already be coming out of lockdown. They're already opening the shops. In Dubai, I was told 2 days ago, the hotels are opening up in Dubai. I don't know if any of you are in Dubai, but I've heard that Dubai is opening up, the hotels. Germany started to open up. Italy started to open up. So we're gradually opening the world again. The world locked its doors, but now it's opening up. And one thing, there will be a vaccine. There will be a vaccine for this dreadful COVID-19, and there will be drugs available. The whole world is working on a vaccine. So there will be a vaccine. Yeah. And once that vaccine comes, boom, the world will go mad again. The flights will go, the trains will go, everything will travel. And that's what we're going to look forward to. And we may have a couple of more weeks of this, maybe of a month or so. But as I said, the world is gradually opening up. So we must be optimistic. It's very important to be optimistic because the world has got through a lot worse than this, actually. Yeah. When they didn't have technology, they couldn't talk like this, like we're talking now on Zoom. So the world has got through worse. And the world will get through this again and come out of it with a lot more knowledge. Yeah. That's the key thing, a lot more knowledge and a lot more use of technology. That's one thing we've learned during this pandemic, the power of technology and how we can link together through technology like we're doing now. So I think we can say that the future's bright. The future belongs to you, the alumni, the knowledge you've got, the power of the knowledge that you have as a collective, and the future belongs to IIHM. I always say there seems to be a magic in the name of India and in the name of IIHM. And I think that should be your logo, to say with your logo, there seems to be a magic in what we do in hospitality and IIHM. So it's an honour for me to speak to you this morning from London, and I do wish you all the very best. And I know that we're going to come out of this bigger, much bigger, and much better, and much more knowledgeable. Thank you.
That was Professor David Foskett addressing all of us, in fact, addressing the entire globe today, in a way, if you can say that, from London. All right, moving over to the sweetest lady in IIHM, the leading lady of IIHM, who's been the pillar of strength from day one, from 1994, 27 years going strong and still going very strong. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Sanjukta Bose to address our students.
A very good evening. Can you hear me? A very good evening to all of you. Abdullah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
You know how excited I am today. And thank you, Professor Foskett, for sharing such positive thoughts. We are all very happy to hear you and so positive things you have shared with us. I'm so much excited to see all our alumni here. And it's 97 passed out students are here. It's a 27 years old institute. So you understand we have alumni with us, and the current students who have joined, they were not born that time. Welcome you all. And I'm sorry at this moment I cannot connect you with you individually, but sure to have a alumni meet, maybe batch wise, where all the teachers were saying. And we have your very, very old teachers, Bitan Bose, who has joined here, and we have Mr. Bitan Chaudhary, Oma ma'am. And we will love to meet you individually with individual batches. And thank you so much for joining today. And this is, like Dr. Bose says, that this is the first ever eConclave, and we are going to continue with this. And we will remember this historic date that we are joining with you in an eConclave, and like we will remember throughout your life, and maybe our grandchildren will also remember these months of our life, and we will remember this historic day. And we have, thank you so much, David Foskett, Professor Foskett, and sharing this, and I'm sure we will win and we will come out of this problem and will survive. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Bose, for addressing the students all over the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start to roll. All right, before we start, just let you know that precisely keep it short. We've got a lot of students to talk about. Try to keep it within 3 to 4 minutes. Please time yourselves, and we might give you a tinkle just in case you overshoot as well. So that should be fine. The first in line is Mr. Alok Singh, logging in today from London, UK. He's the managing director for Indian Kama Sutra restaurant in London, Edinburgh, and Glasgow. Over to you, Mr. Alok.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Abdullah. How are you?
You need to be a little louder, Mr. Singh. We can't hear you.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. This is Alok Singh. I'm not good at. I'm doing this for the first time. Really happy to see Madam Bose, because I believe I'm here because of Madam Bose. So that's the most important thing. I run a business and I have a restaurant chain called Kama Sutra restaurant chain in London, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and I also run my travel company head office based in Manchester, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and New Delhi. Recently opened in New Delhi with 17 staffs and 7 staff in Mumbai, Dadar. Just now, see the pandemic, what has happened is really, it's struggling for me because I had to pay my wages. The best thing is that for my restaurant side, I'm not worried because 80% of the funding is being given to my employees by the government. That's a really very, very good things what is happening to me for this time. But I'm facing little bit problem in my Delhi side and Mumbai side because I have recently opened the new offices, and I was going to open up in Belgium as well, Kama Sutra, Belgium. I was taking that to Europe now. But suddenly the things have changed. But hearing Professor Foskett, I am really now getting into it. I was really in the deep shop giving interviews and these all because I am a executive board member of Virat Hindustan Sangam for Scotland, where I lead Scotland, and Bar Association as well. That related to lawyers as British Association of Rajput. For whole of United Kingdom, I am the chief secretary for that. So according to all the diplomatics way and these all, still I was in a deep shock. But this, what I think this platform will give a very, very good situations and enthusiasm to all the Caymans. And
Mr. Alok, we can't hear you. Hello, Mr. Alok? Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, technology always fails at the right time, as they say it, and so it stands true. For some reason, Mr. Alok Singh, we've lost connection. Mr. Singh, are you there? Mr. Singh, are you there? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Technology, well, as they say it. Okay, so apologies for this, and we'll see if we can get in touch with him again. Meanwhile, let's move forward to Mr. Shamil Lateef, joining in from Scotland, UK. He's an entrepreneur working in Edinburgh. Mr. Shamil Lateef, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Shamil Lateef, an entrepreneur, co-founder, and the owner of Style Plus Group Hospitality and Stay Metro Apart Hotels based in Scotland, and more importantly, a proud alumni of IIHM Kolkata batch. First of all, thank you, Dr. Bose and his wonderful team for this invitation, and I immensely privileged yet nostalgic seeing my mentors from Kolkata campus. The hospitality industry has seen one of the sectors badly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, with businesses shut, employees being laid off or even made redundant, dried up cash flows, and so on. As part of abiding the measures ordered by the government during these unprecedented times, as you might have read in the recent news, that UK has passed Italy to become #1 in Europe in death toll, reaching 30,000. It's actually a perfect example to portray to the world about the country that nearly succumbed to the world's worst crisis with declined economy, compromising healthcare, yet fighting back to regain resilience. Surprisingly, the government is doing well to flatten the curve. India is still in its containment phase, so indeed it's a wonderful example to learn what to do and what not to be done. A lot to learn from the examples here. UK hospitality is worth about 130 billion, so you can imagine the impact this has caused to the economy. One of the key concerns that need to be addressed here is we all are in a state of flux with uncertainties on what should be done. One of the things we go to understand here is that we all are in this together. It's not just one business or one industry that is affected. Being a flag bearer of our own business and the industry, it should be our responsibility to do our part in all what it takes bringing our business back on track and succeed. Time is the essence. We need to look into designing better systems, processes, and adapt the new normal down. Few of my suggestions with regards to these would be is evaluate short-term liquidity and assess financial and operational risks and respond quickly. Basically, what it means is know your numbers and know where you stand and position yourself in the business financially, especially during these unprecedented times. And if you are a business owner or a manager, you need to be active in the game in strategically using the cash flow by working closely with your finance controllers or accountants. Government is wholeheartedly helping in the UK, in order to thrive the businesses in terms of issuing grants, government-backed loans, deferral of VATs and rates for local employees, and thereby paying off 80% of their salaries to minimize redundancies and encourage job retention. My second suggestion would be prepare your best skilled human resource to rebuild the strategies from scratch. This is all for your post-COVID-19. because the world out there is no longer be the same. Your skeleton staff, for example, HR, sales, etc., should work towards forecasting resources and revenues post-pandemic. The current UK market survey and statistics suggest UK hospitality should get back to the new normal by the end of the second quarter of this year. Research identifies a strong ADR and occupancy levels once the trust and confidence of the travelers are regained. Another possible suggestion would be transparency and clear communication with relevant stakeholders. This is very, very crucial when creating a platform to reshape the business and to secure ongoing support from customers, employees, suppliers, etc. Ideal examples would be a clear communication plan helps maintaining a business as usual mindset among the employees, which is very, very crucial during these unprecedented times. On the other hand, maintaining regular contact with suppliers, ensuring to receive a live updates, and this will actually help in organizing alternative supply chain if required during these times. Always remember, there is light at the end of the tunnel, so do not lose hope. But in the midst of all this, please do not forget to be a good human being. Now, talking about my journey, upon completion of my undergraduate degree from the Edinburgh Napier University as part of IIHM training program, I had this wonderful opportunity on setting up the Apart Hotels brand in UK. And today, by God's grace, along with my best friend, my co-founder, and IIHM alumni, Mr. Shrikesh, who is my business partner, we have made our dreams into reality by opening a Style Plus Group hospitality in UK, which operates under 4 brands: Stay Metro Apart Hotels, our premium service department business with properties in Glasgow and Edinburgh, Hope Stay Finder, One Stop Finder, and Pro Out, which is a hospitality consultancy firm to help the struggling business succeed. And today I'm proud to say that this year we won the Prestige Award for the best corporate accommodation provider in Scotland. And once again, thank you for giving me the wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Moving forward, I would like to move from UK now to the extreme east part of the world, Australia. We have Mr. Aurobindo David Ghosh joining in as head chef from Werribee Open Range Zoo, Melbourne, Australia. Over to you.
Hello there, a warm welcome from Werribee, Melbourne. It's 7:30 in the evening now. Warm welcome to everyone. Yeah, it's a long way from 1997 pass out to Melbourne now. It's all what ma'am was saying, almost 27 years. So I was been to India with the Taj for a couple of years, and then came to Melbourne in 1999, and had seen quite a journey from there. But this epidemic, what happened now, it's become rock and roll in the industry. As Victoria, the state, it's actually doing quite well so far to flatten the curve and making people, bit confident as what they're doing. With the industry, we have seen quite a bit of changes. What was happening through the pandemic, and now what's going through that one. We've seen that a lot of people has come up with different ideas. We are seeing that local business are actually kind of doing well, because people are staying home and doing a lot of things from the local community. So that's one of the good things that what other people are doing and changing themselves to the local market and helping the local markets. They are really doing well at this point in time. We as a we do around 600 to 700,000 yearly turnover of the tourists, whereas probably 2-3 months, it's a nil customers there, so it's actually affecting us quite a lot. But as a group, for us as a campus, they change a lot, with their marketing strategy, business strategy, so that we are actually coming out from that data and doing a few other things as well. So that's what we are seeing, that that's business diversity. That's what the people are doing these days. That's making them kind of going on top of the pandemic. What's happening throughout the world. Like, it's a lot of business up there which are doing sitting inside, just giving up 2 weeks time, 1 week's time, doing everything in an online business, and that's what they're making them quite well. So, like, it's in this time, what we are seeing, that we have to come up with the second business model, a second business idea. That's what can go up and do something great and something better. That's what we're doing now. For me, like, I was in with Taj for probably 3 years there, and when I came to Australia, probably 1999, worked with the Hyatt and the Crown, and before coming down to the campus, was there for like last 3 years there now. Has seen a lot of changes with the business models what we follow throughout the world. So not only that, they look after the tourist hotspots, they do the universities and a lot of tourism attraction as well. So that's there's a lot of diversity within the business there, which can they focus all the time. That's, if it's there is something backdrop in one of those events or one of those places, and they can always put their whole of the manpower and the forces to the other side as well. So that's what we're doing now. It's, when it's the tourist attraction, there's not enough customers not coming there. They are actually moving down to a lot of universities and all those things. So it's like, that's the thing. Main point is that we have to have a diversity in our business policies, which can bring us to the next level on different sites as well.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Aurobindo, all the way joining from Australia. What time is it there in Australia at this point in time?
It's 7:15 now in the evening.
All right, not that bad as well, but yes, life at IIHM never sleeps. The IIHM family never sleeps.
That's very true,
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Moving over to the lovely island of Mauritius, we've got Mr. Damian Singh joining in. He is the chef de cuisine from the Oberoi Beach Resort, Mauritius. Just a perfect place for quarantine at this point in time. Over to you, Mr. Damian. Mr. Damian, are you there?
Yes.
I'm audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk about myself and a little bit about Mauritius pandemic, what is going on right now here. And let me introduce myself to all the students, those who don't know me. I'm Damian Singh Dhindsa. I'm right now working in the Oberoi, Mauritius as the chef de cuisine. So I'm with company around 11 years now. I passed out from IIHM in 2009, and it was like an amazing journey. I still have many friends. We are all together in a WhatsApp. We are still talking about all the faculties and everyone in WhatsApp. And this is how it is. It's a very beautiful journey. I don't think so it will be possible without my IIHM faculty that I will be in this place right now. And this is my 5th country I'm working here. I worked in Dubai, Doha, and 2 more countries I worked. Even in India, 2 places I worked in. Only with Oberoi groups. For a while, I joined 4 seasons. And I tell you, this is amazing. This is after passing out from IIHM, you will be never regret. You will be always in a better place. So let me introduce a little bit about Mauritius pandemic, what is going on right now. In Mauritius, it's like, it's as Mr. Emma said, it's a very safe place to stay. We started in lockdown around the 19th of March. That time we have 9, then we ended up with 322. Right now we have only 3 positive cases. It's amazing place. We are working normally. Only we have a tourist. We have hospitality, and then we have trade, and we have finance. We have accounting. That's make a major issues in Mauritius. That happens everywhere in the world. So we don't need to worry about that. I'm still going to work. I'm still maintaining the hotel background. We are fumigating all the rooms. We are setting up. We are cleaning everything is setting up for a new sessions. We are just waiting for the lockdown over. Then we'll start again with our new life, with a new journey. So thank you very much again for everyone to giving me a small time to talk about myself and about a little bit for Mauritius. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Bose. Thank you, ma'am Bose. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Damian, reporting all the way from Mauritius, just a place to go into quarantine. Trust me, here in Delhi and in India, I think Mauritius is a better place for it. All right, moving over to Mr. Andrew Johnston from UAE, from the desert country, Administration Manager at Innoventures Education UAE. Mr. Andrew, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Andrew Johnston from Dubai in the UAE. I was part of the 2003-2006 batch in IIHM Kolkata. And after passing out, while I did briefly work with hotels, I thought to myself that many other things that we did while we were in IIHM. For example, we studied about customer care. We studied about facilities management. So I thought to myself, how could I, use all this education and these skills of mine as well, and diversify from the regular hotel and still inculcate my experience and grow as well, and kind of put it out there that if you pass out from IIHM, you don't only have to stick to hotels. There's a whole world of opportunity out there. So I moved from India. I came to Dubai. I studied the market, and private education in Dubai, international schools, is a very lucrative business. So I tried my hand at that. And by the grace of God, I was able to succeed. I am a senior manager administration today. I'm aspiring to be a general manager, and I have been able to get a very rich experience, right from catering to front office to facilities management to event management, procurement, accounts, IT, compliance. Because being in Dubai, compliance is a very big subject. For example, visas, Dubai Health Authority, Dubai Municipality, Civil Defense. So I have regular interaction with all these departments as well, So IIHM does not only mold you to be a hotelier. This is my take. IIHM molds you to even diversify, go under any umbrella and excel. And when you stand over there, we proudly say that, we are products of IIHM. And people look at us, our personality speaks for itself. The way we get molded and cut out while in those 3 years, our communication and the way we carry ourselves, that itself, we are brand ambassadors of IIHM. Now, talking about the pandemic situation, yes, it is something that is very misfortunate that has happened. But again, we as human beings, our nature is to adapt. So we have adapted. We have become used to, stepping out of the house with our masks and gloves and maintaining social distancing and all those stuff. And it's not really a bad thing, because it's only healthy. Because if you see, from the time all this has happened, the level of pollution has gone down. The birds and all the living creatures are even happier. And I think in some parts of the world, even the crime rate has gone down. So things are different. And I think, if we approach this from a positive aspect, it's not all that bad. Yes, there is a virus out there. scientists and doctors and all the other authorities are doing everything they can to overcome it. We will overcome it, yeah, but the end result of this will only be positive. From a Dubai perspective, we have started our soft openings. As you know, Ramadan has started, so there is fasting during the day, and but the malls have opened specific timing. Groceries, supermarkets, they're also all running almost normally. From an education perspective, similar to IIHM, we are also doing online classes. I am coming to work every day. Our student numbers are not really getting hammered. Yeah. So that alone shows that the rate of redundancy is also flatlining. It is not dipping anymore. So, and we're also looking at tourism beginning as early as the end of July. So, I want to request everybody to hold your chin up, and, maybe the next webinar we will talk about the positives and then we will emphasize negative. Yeah. Take care and God bless.
All right, thank you so much. That was Mr. Andrew Johnston reporting in from UAE. Moving over to United States of America, we've got Mr. Dayapal, Director Food and Beverage at Four Seasons Hotel and Private Residences at the Surf Club. Once again, the right place for the quarantine. Over to you, Mr. Dayapal.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Dr. Bose, good to see you. Madam Bose, thank you again. It's such an incredible thing. We have almost 400, 500 people join in here. Well, good morning. If I'm looking rusty, it's almost 4:30 in the morning here, after Cinco de Mayo, But I will start talking about a little bit about my journey. I'm born in a military family. I was the IIHM Calcutta graduate 2001, 2004, which according to Mrs. Bose was her favorite batch. But we'll talk about that later sometime. Apart from that, I started my career with Hyatt Hotels. I was the pre-opening member for Grand Hyatt Mumbai. Worked for Hyatt for almost 12 years, and now currently I'm at Four Seasons Hotel at the Surf Club, which is one of the flagship property for Four Seasons within the company, and we're driving. We are the bearer of driving the largest ADR in the company in the top 2 rank, which means the reason I mentioned that is we are the situation I'm in is taking care of the luxury clientele and the people. Apart from the hotel, we also have residences, which is luxury residences. So that's what my current role is. Apart from that, I'm gonna. There's a lot to dig in, and I don't think so it'll be enough time to cover everything. But a few important basic thing I will share before we get a ring from Mr. Ahmed. I think in the United States, I'm not going to go into what United States government and other people are doing. I think everybody is a learning lesson for all of us. Nobody can prepare us. There's no textbook was written, but I'm sure in the future, we will look back and see how we came out of this personally, individually, as a company, as a country, as a globe. That's going to be very, very important. But I think our failures and our other experiences in the past makes us better and makes us prepared to see what and how we can do. How can we lead from the front, and how can we rally? And it's not just about the hotels or the restaurants or the airlines. I mean, as a whole, we all have to work together in different industries to come out of this, and you've got to make the best out of it what it is. I see it's already mentioned very well. Having that resilience, it's going to be the key. Coming back, United States. I'm sure you must be listening. From the epicenter in New York to Florida is the same. I'm in Miami right now, and we never was closed. I've been to work every day. Upon you will talk about some of the strongest countries I know. Heard from some of the alumni from UK and other places. You'll be surprised to see how other countries something like this was not prepared for. It definitely has exposed us. But as a hotelier and as a leader, been responsible for making the decisions and being an entrepreneur. It's very crucial to see how we're going to react to it. How how are we going to be even come forward and take care of our teams and the guests at the same time, and then help each other. I'm in constant touch with I'm a part of the board of member for all the hoteliers in the area from different hotel companies. It doesn't matter what brand you're representing. At the end of the day, we all in this together. We might not be on the same boat. We are in the same storm, and we all having our own journey. But I think collectively, if we will have the best practices, we will all come out. A few things I will touch upon. For me, is very important. As we started to open up the whole hotel and the F&B and the restaurants and the hotel, it's a crucial thing is going to be looked upon is the hygiene and how are the safety measures. Because in our industry, it's always been looked upon very closely, but now with this thing, it's even more so important. It's very important for our team members to feel safe and good to come back to work. And while we get through this thing, it's gonna take a little bit of a while to come out of it. Apart from that, I will touch base very quickly. It's psychologically, it probably has affected a lot of people and the guests, our employees, and our team member. And I think it'll be very important to not ignore those sectors. I'm not going to touch upon economic, the cash flow in the downtown. I think Shamil did a very good job touching on that. But apart from that, I will say that in this situation, we all have to be very innovative thinkers. We have to bring our inner strength to able to find faith, and we'll come out of this. We have we look at 2008 and look at other pandemics and other things. Probably it's very in extreme, but again, as we said, as a human being, we are such a powerful creature that we're going to come out of it. And as Steve Jobs said, one day we're going to look back. You can only connect the dots, looking backwards, not looking forward. And I think we'll come out of this strong. So thank you. That was my time.
Thank you, Mr. Dayapal. He is the Director of Food and Beverage at Four Seasons from United States of America. Moving over to the Kiwi country of New Zealand, we've got Mr. Devottam Chakrabarti, hospitality tutor at Aspire to International and owner of a training company in New Zealand. Well, all entrepreneurs, I must say. Mr. Devottam, over to you. Mr. Devottam, we can't hear you. If you could just unmute yourself, please, 1 second. Yes, we can hear you now.
Good. Okay. First of all, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Very good evening from New Zealand, kia ora. It is 9:20 p.m. here. So I am from 2010 batch. I studied 2 years at IIHM and then went to UK, to Edinburgh University. Worked in different departments, stayed in the UK for 3 years. And before leaving UK, I was managing a restaurant in Edinburgh. After that, I came to New Zealand, studied my post-graduation, worked in food and beverage and front office department, and managed a medium-sized hotel as a general manager. During this time, I was involved in a lot of training, as in staff training, and I realized that I have a passion for teaching and training. So to pursue my dream, I got a job at a very prestigious college called Aspire to International in New Zealand, where I have been working since 2018. Following that, I also opened up my institution. It is a hospitality and language training institution where I teach along with my team. I would like to thank the team of IIHM for igniting the spark in us to identify our goal so that eventually we can achieve those one day. I also remember my first day at IIHM Kolkata in 2007, where we met Dr. Suborno for the very first time. He told us a lot of things, out of which I remembered one. Dr. Suborno mentioned that when you can dream big. Do not think of being a manager or a supervisor. Rather, think of becoming a businessman. So when I left my college, when I was working in UK from very beginning, I remember that, and I always worked someday to be in a position where I would be able to generate employment. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Suborno Ghosh, for that. Thank you all IIHM faculty for getting in touch with us for such a long time. It's more than 10 years now. Thank you very much for that. Now talking about COVID-19, New Zealand is an island country and is placed in such a location where COVID-19, it's difficult for COVID-19 to come in and attack us. We did have some cases here because we very much depend on tourism. So tourism bring in a lot of revenue in New Zealand. And in COVID-19, we got 1,488 people affected, out of which 87 are already cured. And we are already getting into level 2 of lockdown, which means we are recovering. Now, the problem is the international borders are going to be closed for a little longer, but the tourism has to survive. So New Zealand government has come up with an idea, and it's a brilliant idea. What they're going to do is they are encouraging local people to rediscover New Zealand, reducing the price for the accommodations, reducing the prices for transportation within New Zealand. It's a fabulous idea, I think, so that at least people can be employed. They can still keep working. And New Zealand government has come up with a subsidy plan for people who have businesses such as myself. The government is paying 80% of their projected revenue in compared to what it was in the previous year. And for those who work in any field, they are getting 80% of their salary until the mid of June, which is a good effort. So I think as long as the international borders are closed, which will be open very soon, we can encourage domestic travel, and this will keep people enjoyed. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Perfectly timed, I would say, Mr. Devatam Chakrabarti. Moving over to now Miss Ponarada from Thailand, batch 2013-16, is now an entrepreneur in Bangkok, Thailand. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, members, Dr. Bose, and all faculties. I introduce myself. My name is Punrada. I am from Thailand. Basically working in Thailand and living in Thailand. I am just like talking about my journeys. Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Basically, I work in Thailand. Like my journey after I passed out from college, I study in 2013 to 16 batch in Kolkata. So I pass out and I work in hotel as a food production for 1 year. I work in Grand Hyatt Hotel, which I also do like internship over there. And then after 2018, I just left and take over and take care of my family business and take care of my own business. Now I'm also open up import and export business just to export like or vegetable or like eatable stuff outside the country. That is the thing I do. Okay. And then I would like to say about a pandemic of this COVID-19 in Thailand. Now, like, as we all know that COVID is a virus and then it's all goes spread all over the country, just like everywhere, not in Thailand, like everywhere all over the world. So I was doing apartment business, hospitality about apartment. So things are not going so well. Things are okay. Just like, before we have so many guests coming to us, just only asking for the room, for the house, for everything. But now we don't have the guests. We have only people who only staying there. And then now we have to take care of the guests by just like after the government by taking basically we are taking care of guests by just keep cleanliness and then now government is taking action, like taking action to all over the country because now Thailand is locked down as like same everywhere, locked down and doing curfew. We having times. We having less time to do things. We have to stay at home. We cannot go out. We cannot do anything. Nothing is open. Just only like supermarket, food table stuff. Like I must say that now, like business tourism, and everything was shut down. It's just like suffering time for the business. I would like to say like all the airlines, my friends working in airlines and working in everywhere, like airlines, hotel, everything off. Hotel, and then renovate again. Then on 1st June, they will be opening. And now for Thailand, government is taking action by just requesting us to stay at home, not going out from home. And then they open supermarket and just giving like an appropriate information for us to see, just like technology now, just open new website, just open the TV channel for COVID news, and just giving us the list every day, like for shaking up. And here, just like the good thing of here, we are shaking up for free. If we just feel like we are not fine, we are affected from COVID-19, so we can go to the hospital and just getting shake up for free. That is no cost. And then now they're helping by just giving survival bag to every house, 50% of salary to everyone. So they're giving a lot of things, just like sanitizer and like face mask, face shield, like everything, just for helping us. So that is.
Thank you so much, Ms. Punarada, joining in from Thailand. Moving on to Mr. Ritwik Seal, Singapore, supervisor, Fuji Group, Singapore. Over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Now the time over here is 5:27 p.m. So it's evening over here. Before I start my conversation, hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Mr.
Okay. Before I start my conversation, I like to give a very big thanks to all my dearest faculty members, Mr. Suborno Bose, Ma'am Bose, and all other my faculty members, through their efforts and their hard working, what I am now. After hearing about all other countries like New Zealand, Australia, Thailand, USA, I'll be telling something about Singapore. First of all, Singapore is 70% of the revenue depends on the tourist and business travelers. So they already stopped the border over here for almost 1 month. So we are not getting any more tourists and any business travelers. And now for the last few weeks, our sales was dependent on the local residents. But again, another 2-3 weeks, they stopped the dining facility there in Singapore. So now all the fine dining and casual dining restaurants and hotels, people cannot come and dine in. They can only do delivery and takeaway. Okay. So our management finding another option like to get business through deliveries. Delivery work a lot over here. Like, for example, Food Panda, then Crab Express, Deliveroo. So these are the things we are using to deliver our food to the customers to the door level. But our business is not like before because of this COVID-19 issues and outbreak. Singapore government is doing a lot of measures and strict measures, example temperature check, hand sanitizing and social distancing. And the good thing over here is people is following. And for me, like, I'm not working every day now. My schedule is not every day because our business is not like before. Our sales drop a lot, but our salary is still there. I mean, the management wants us to work few days in a week, and the remaining days they're covering in the leave. We are cost cut some labor costs like part-timers. We are not giving them schedules. We are dependent on full-timers now. The important full-timers are getting schedules to save the labor cost and food cost, and also the rental. Our rental over here is very expensive because our business is more on the Japanese curry and sushi, so which is very popular over here. Lucky we are having the delivery service. That's why our sales is still there. I know it's very less as compared to the dine-in sales, which is like 100,000 every month, $100,000. Now it's coming to $30,000 to $40,000. We just doing the delivery and the takeaway. Apart from that, the hotels over here is all closed, but they're only open for the takeaway and the delivery services. And the revenue also affects a lot. But we are thinking some plans. The government has some options, like our lockdown extends until 1st June. After everything will get back, we'll be trying to launch some new promotions to attract more customers in order to increase the sales.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ritwik. Still moving on to Mr. Aniket Saraya from India, former banquet and events manager, IIHG Group, Singapore, and now is in Australia. Over to you, Mr. Aniket.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah. I hope you're keeping safe. I would like to thank Dr. Bose and Ma'am Bose for this wonderful opportunity. And I believe that wherever everyone is right now, it has to be attributed to the time spent in IIHM, the 3 years, and to the wonderful faculty that were with us during that time, who have nurtured us and made us into what we are today. I am in Adelaide in South Australia right now, in Australia. A little about the number of cases in Australia. There are about 7,000 cases, out of which about 6,500 have already been treated. So Australia has been fairly successful in flattening the curve here. About the hospitality industry in Australia, it is about 8% of the total number of jobs that are there in the Australian economy. In the last month and a half, about 150,000 people have been stood down because of COVID-19. However, given these factors, Australia has bounced back pretty strong, and almost all states are ready with a roadmap to recovery. There are a few points which I believe would be important in the road ahead. Number one would be understanding that the customer or the guest who would be coming to our hotels or any hospitality business right now would be low in confidence. We as hoteliers and business operators have to understand that regaining of the confidence for the customer is something that would be of paramount importance. Given that hygiene and safety and security of the guest in terms of sanitizers to be used, cleaning schedules to be followed, would be something that would be of importance. Lastly, I would like to draw a bit of time onto the fact that lowering rates once the COVID pandemic is over and once everything is back on track, just lowering rates would not be substantial in getting the guests back. What I believe is that would be something that would lead guests away, but competitive rates with high level of safety and sanity would be something that would be very important. So all that there is, it's not too bad, and I believe that in the coming time things should be better. And as Professor Foskett also said, that human spirit is something that will overcome everything, and it has overcome in the past. So let's stick together and we will be back together. That's all. That was my time. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for sharing your views and thoughts. Over to Mr. Datta Manama. Over to you, Mr. Kumar.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone, and special thanks to Dr. Bose, Ma'am Bose, and Sangeeta Ma'am for getting in touch. It's been really beautiful platform to talk to you from so far, and I'm really feel grateful about this event. So talk a little bit about myself. I'm Kumardeep Datta, the ex-student of IIHM, a proud alumni of IIHM, from the batch of 2004-2007. And then I have started working with the Oberoi Grand Kolkata, and then worked for some of the big names of the industries like Grand Hyatt Mumbai, Hilton's, Marriott International, Four Seasons Hotels and Resort, Al Shah Middle East, and presently working for Al Ghalia company in Bahrain for research and development and a new project opening for the company for home brands, for premium and casual dining, and for the franchisee brands. So let's talk about. We have around 3,400 active cases going on, but the good part is 50% of that number has been already recovered. So government is doing a remarkable job to keep the people safe and spreading awareness throughout the country. They are supporting all the entrepreneurs, small to medium business, and other owners of the country by giving them support through paying out their rent for the space, giving them free electricity and water, and there are many others on the list. Surviving at this situation is, I understand it's bit fragile situations at this moment, but we are into hospitality, so we never look back. We always look forward. So we find opportunities between the obstacles. So there are opportunities, I believe, because at present the market is going a little bit down. There are some companies, they are closing their business for some times, for some months, but they will be reopening soon. And once it will be reopening, there will be a lot of new opportunities within the market. And that would be a good news for all the upcoming students from the colleges. And I believe they are in a right hand to get the guide from the college, because as I got the guide, and right now that's why I'm here. I feel successful is because what IIHM did for me, and for sure they will do it for their present student. So this is a time where we all will be looking forward, and it will be a good time ahead. So thank you very much. Be safe, be healthy, and use your proper guidelines from the government to be secure from COVID-19. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kumardeep. That's a lovely car that you were reporting in from. What car? What model is that?
I'm sitting at Kia Rio.
Kia Rio, I guess so. All right, great. Thank you. Moving over to Mr. Vijay Haldar, UAE. He's the revenue manager at IIHG UAE. Over to you, Mr. Vijay Haldar.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Yes, loud and clear. We can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vijay. I'm very far away from the sandy city of Dubai. The local time here is 13:38 hours. Alumni of IIHM batch 2004 and 7. And it's a pleasure to be part of this historic global eConclave. Thank you, Mr. Bose and Mrs. Bose as well, for giving us this opportunity. And I'll make it very quick. Currently 14 years in this industry, and it was a bumpy, but yes, quite exciting journey, having this opportunity to work in 6 international different brands in the GCC region. I started my career in F&B, and then moved to reservation, and then got the opportunity to manage the revenue management portfolio. Currently working with IIHG as revenue manager in Dubai. Now, talking about the pandemic situation, Dubai is really passing through a pandemic as well as a catastrophic period in the history of Dubai. The occupancy here has dropped dramatically year over year to minus 47% in Dubai itself, and in Abu Dhabi it is overall 39%. So in a nutshell, UAE has a total decline of 45% in occupancy. The lockdown started in March 20th of 2020, and slowly, as time passed by, 1,000 plus hotels have temporarily closed their door, starting from March onwards, and still there are more hotels which are getting closed down. As now we have started, as we are already in the holy month of Ramadan, plus the summer factor is there. Occupancy level in this region is traditionally very slow, and on top of this, this pandemic has literally dragged down the whole economy in a very bad situation. But yeah, with the start of Ramadan, the government has taken a drastic step and has partially opened up the lockdown, and now some of the hotels have opened the door. Basically, occupancies are slowly growing up in the resort properties because people are literally, jam-packed with this, staying in this four wall in the house for last 1.5 months. So people are still going to the hotels in the resort properties to get some relaxation. But yeah, the city properties which are near to the downtown city to the airport are still closed out, taking a big hit as the airlines has not started operating yet. Etihad planned to start the operation by mid of June, and Emirates is going to open by first week of July. So as the airport opens, the ban will be lifted for the travel. We are waiting that the industry will be back to track, as Dubai is heavily dependent on the tourism. So it's the bread and butter of this country. So we are hoping that from July onwards, everything will be back on track. Talking about the recovery, the country was hoping that Q4 of this year, the recovery will start. But now, as the curve is still not flattening, Expo 2020, which is supposed to start from October Q4 onwards, has been moved to 2021, next year Q4. So this has created a big gap. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And as Professor Foster said, we will come back sooner and we'll be coming back much stronger. Thank you very much to everyone, and God bless us. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Vijay Helder from UAE. Moving over to Mr. Vikas Singh from Doha, Qatar, manager on duty, Ritz-Carlton Doha, passed out in 2016 from IIHM Pune. Over to you, Mr. Vikas Singh.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I would like to thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Also, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Bose, and as well as Mr. Khurana and Ms. Sangeeta from IIHM Pune for giving this opportunity to speak as the alumni. I'm passed out from IIHM Pune in 2013 to 16 batch, and after that I passed out. I moved to Doha in the Ritz-Carlton Doha. And while studying in IIHM, I also did my internship in Ritz-Carlton Doha, where I worked for 6 months in the culinary. And then once I completed my graduation, I came back to Doha as a Commi 3. And over the past 3 years, I moved up the ladder from Commi 3 to manager on duty. In between, I also took the positions of Commi 2 and as well as the supervisor and the manager on duty, which I'm currently hosting the position for last 6 months. So to all the IIHM students, I would just like to say is basically, you should not think hospitality industry is like one department. Once you get into the hospitality industry, there is an endless opportunity where you can also definitely grow from, Okay, let me see once.
You're muted. Unmute yourself 1 second.
I'm not sure why.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I'll just continue. So it's an endless opportunity once you get into the hospitality industry. So I would just like to thank IIHM, which they have given me an opportunity, and definitely I look at myself, what I've studied in IIHM has definitely helped me to shape in my career. And talking about Doha, Doha is basically a very small Middle Eastern country. However, it is mostly dependent on oil and gas, and is also developing in terms of tourism, as we have 2022 FIFA World Cup, which is going to be hosted in Doha. So there's a lot of development going on in Doha, and currently due to this pandemic, Doha has not been really shut down. However, there have been only as per the local authorities, the only demand is to essential workers to go outside. However, if you're not essentially working, stay at home. So this has definitely helped to reduce the peak, as well as the flattening the curve, what we can say, of Doha. And also in terms of tourism, it has heavily impacted because we were mostly dependent on as well the business travelers due to the global airlines, shutdown as well, has also definitely impacted the hospitality industry in Doha. However, I definitely see in the third quarter to the fourth quarter of this year, we will definitely bounce back. And as Dr. Foskett said, there's an light in the end of the tunnel. We definitely see it. However, at this moment, it's quite uncertain to say, but we'll definitely bounce back, and the business will definitely boom. And the hospitality industry is all about traveling. Once the space travel is open, the airline starts to go back to business, and definitely we'll see more number of guests coming into our doors. And once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would like to thank Anita and Mr. Rupinder Khurana for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining in. And we've got Mr. Saurav Datta now from UAE. He's a sake sommelier. Over to you, Mr. Saurav Datta.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing good. Good afternoon to Ma'am Bose and Dr. Bose. You can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm very happy to see Mr. Abhijit Maitra and Mona ma'am. They were my class teachers, so very happy to see them as well. My name is Prof, and I used to play rugby for Indian team, and I used to play rugby for a local team called Jungle Crow in Calcutta, which is Mr. Paul Walsh, MBE. My journey was very beautiful. Mr. Paul was a very good friend of Ma'am Bose and Dr. Bose, and that's how I got a scholarship with the help of IIHM. I got a scholarship to study in IIHM. It was a beautiful journey. I studied 3 years, and then I started my career in Singapore. I started my career in Singapore in Marriott, and from there I moved to Four Seasons in Mumbai, and then Four Seasons Mumbai I worked for a year in India, which is the only property I worked. I think in India working is a bit challenging for me was that time. And then I got a very good opportunity in General Marriott Marquis Dubai, which is the tallest hotel in Dubai, and I moved there. And after that, the career goes on. I still remember Miss Mona, Madam Mona used to tell us that the best thing in your career you can do, you can invest in your career, and that's what I did while I was studying. Continuously, I invested in my career. I studied WACT. I did my level 3, and then I studied about sake. I fell in love about sake when I was in Singapore, and that's how I grew up. And I got another scholarship through my club called Jungle Crow, and that's how I became the sake sommelier. And yes, it's going on. I'm working for Mandarin Oriental. It's a beach and resort property, and we are quite doing good. We did very good from it's opened last year, 2018. End of 2018, well, beginning of 2019, we opened for our guests, and we did very good. What happened during this situation? I will talk about a little bit about UAE and what happened and what I'm doing. Well, in UAE, the government did very good job, I would say. Which led out to now we are open, our economy is open. The only thing is closed is our border, which affects the tourism business. All you know that in Dubai, the tourism business is it's the most important business. So yes, that's what it's affected a little bit. But however, now we open. I'm opening my restaurant today. So today we hope we have some reservation as well. We hope we're gonna get busy. What affect in UAE really the supply chain access and the business continuity plans. Even my career continuity plans has been affected. My plans, my future plans has been affected. But what we are doing right now to prevent the situation, we are defining a current business model where we're focusing on our customers, we're focusing on capabilities, and also we're identifying some uncertainties and assess the impact and what's going to happen if we invest in some money on that, where you know that Dubai is already planning the situation, and some executive changes as well, which I hope is going to happen positive. I thank you all of you for joining me. Thank you.
so much for joining. Over to Mr. Swapnil Sharma, reporting in from Saudi Arabia. He works at the Ritz-Carlton Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, passed out in 2017 from IIHM Pune. Over to you, Mr. Swapnil Sharma.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. First of all, Ramadan Kareem to everyone. It's in Saudi, it's a holy country for Muslims. So, especially for everyone who are Muslims over there, in all over the world, I want to say Ramadan Kareem to everyone. So, I started my career from 2014 by graduating in IIHM Pune. It was pleasure and it was honor to be study in IIHM Pune with such a good faculty, and also the directors, Sanjukta ma'am and Kurana ma'am. Thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to discover my career and my goals which I'm facing today. So let's start with my career. So I started my career in 2017 when the year I passed out. So I started from JW at Pune. I worked there for 1.5 years. Then later on I got opportunity to work in Ritz-Carlton Riyadh. So it's a good time for us to work in Ritz-Carlton Riyadh here. And first thing I want to clear that, like many students, I can see many students can see me, hear me. So one thing, let me make the clear thing that, see, don't worry about what's going to be. No matter where you will stop, it will grow anyhow. So just keep calm yourself, the person who are graduating right now, maybe in second year, thinking about the future career, what's we going to be next, how we're going to pass out, how we're going to get our career. So just relax. Hospital industry is very huge. You will get anywhere, many opportunities. And as you have support of your directors and managers and also the faculties, so they'll help you a lot for the same. And secondly, I want to clear about the Corona thing which is happening in Saudi Arabia. As you can see, it's a holy country for Muslims. And this is Ramadan time. So this is a peak season for each country. Due to this Corona thing, it's affecting a lot here because of the Muslims who are not able to come here because there are no flights anymore because Makkah and Medina are the holy place over here. So the thing is happening here. Corona is affecting a lot over here. So I just want to say that stay safe and stay happy. And secondly, thank you so much for giving me time over here. And stay happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And moving over to Canada now, all the way from Saudi Arabia, we've got Ms. Chetna Chadha, Food Tourism and Social Media Marketing, Toronto, Canada. Over to you, Ms. Chetna.
Having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, so I'm an alumni from IIHM Bangalore, where I passed out from batch 2012 to 2015. And that is where my hospitality industry, my journey began, and I've never looked back from there. I started my professional career with the Shangri-La group of hotels in Bangalore under the sales and marketing team with room reservations. And then I moved to the travel industry, where I joined an Australian-based startup called Luxury Escapes. So last year, I moved to Toronto to study more about tourism and how food plays. People now no longer travel just to see iconic buildings and tourist spots. They now want to know more about food culture, its history, and the impact that it has within the community. So here in Toronto, and I guess most of Canada, a lot of their iconic restaurants and bars have sadly shut down. These restaurants have been around, even before I was born. And it's sad to see the impact that this pandemic has had on them, as they have had to shut down permanently because they're not able to sustain the business. But moving on to the positive side, the government is really doing a lot to support them, and so are the people around, where people are, trying their best to save their favorite restaurants. And also a lot of these bars and restaurants and a lot of the hotels have come up with a lot of innovative ways to reach their guests virtually. So it's really nice that everyone's come together in that sense. And apart from everything else, the city is slowly opening up. There was not a very harsh lockdown over here, but schools and colleges are beginning to open, and I'm hopeful that it will be good soon enough. So that's about it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And all the way from Canada, now we move to Australia again. We've got Mr. Indranil Roy with us, Catering Services Manager, Melbourne, Convention and Exhibition Centre in Australia. Over to you, Mr. Roy.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, hi. Hello. Warm hello to everyone from Melbourne. It's about 8:30 in the night. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Bose, Ma'am Bose, and all other faculties for giving me this opportunity to speak on the eConclave. My journey in Australia started back in 2020 by the COVID-19 situation. I mean, Australia got hit with COVID-19 pretty much straight away once the bushfire crisis was over. And as part of the COVID-19 crisis, there has been a lot of impact on hospitality and tourism industry, and not only these industries, a lot of jobs has been lost in the retail sector and other. To flatten the curve down, right now there is about 1,000 cases. They've done pretty good in not only helping individual employees, but sole proprietors, other business, by investing about 16.4% of their GDP economy. And we are very lucky we didn't went into a complete level 4 state of disaster lockdown. So we have been lucky we have been able to do our morning exercises, still be able to go do shopping and other stuff like that. And post-19 COVID crisis, what Australian government is looking at is Australian government is working closely with the restaurant and catering industries and other hospitality sectors. A lot of emphasis is being put on the hygiene standards of different places. And I would like to introduce that recently Western Australia has made it mandatory as part of COVID-19 cure to have all hospitality employees to be part of the hygiene processes. And the government and with our company as well, the company, all the hospitality companies, convention centers, hotels, they are coming up with innovative ideas. And we are all coming up with innovative ideas. And we are looking forward to our ease of restrictions, which is to be announced on this Friday. And as we all know, our borders are closed. So what Australian Tourism Industry Board has said to the common people, not to plan for international travel, but once the economy opens, to travel around Australia to increase the tourism, increase the tourism and other sectors. So yeah, and as said before, we will all get through this together. Stay safe, stay positive.
Thank you so much. And moving over to Spain now, we've got Mr. Farhan Ahmed with us, ladies and gentlemen. He's an intern in Nautica at the Hotel Arts Barcelona, Spain, and passed in 2015-18 from IIHM Bangalore. Over to you, Farhan.
Hello?
Yes, Farhan, we can't see you. If you could switch on your camera.
Give me 1 second, there's a little bit of a problem.
Not a problem, dear.
Yeah, I think I should be all set now.
How's the weather there?
The weather's quite good, actually. I'm in Bangalore. I had to come back because of the whole situation going on in the country. My parents are very worried about me, so they decided that it'd be better if I spent my time in Bangalore with them instead of spending it in Spain. Irrespective of the situation, I feel like Spain is a very beautiful country to visit. So if any one of you have any plans of going there, please do. Of course, not on the current situation. Talking about my journey, I passed out very recently in 2018. I was part of IIHM Bangalore, and it was honestly a life-changing experience. I feel like I am currently in the position that I'm in only because of the fact that I studied there. Great props to my teachers and my directors, Sanjukta ma'am, the ex-director Shamil ma'am, and my wonderful teachers, Mansi ma'am, my chef, Dayapal chef. I think all of them are equally responsible for me being here. Moving on, I finished my school and then I decided that I need to learn more. So I decided to pursue further studies and I did my master's in culinary arts and kitchen management in Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona happens to be one of the cultural hotspots in the world. And I was exposed to a lot of cultures and a lot of different kind of people. That in turn led me to being able to be working in a wonderful atmosphere. In summer of last year, I was working in a Michelin star restaurant in the middle of Catalonia. That was a wonderful experience. Of course, it's never easy to work in these places, but I think there's something to take away from everything. Moving on, I finished my master's and now I'm currently at the Enoteca in the Ritz-Carlton, Barcelona. Well, it's called Hotel Arts, but it's managed by Ritz-Carlton. How this whole pandemic has affected the country is it's quite evident, isn't it? Spain was one of the worst affected countries starting off this, and I think the curve has flattened now. But considering the sheer amount or the volume of people that have been affected in Spain, it's kind of, it's something to think about, considering the fact that they have some of the best healthcare in the world. Them not being able to cope up with it should probably stand as a testament to the rest of the countries around the world as to how they deal with it. There's been a lot of help from the government to make sure that the companies or the small or the large businesses are able to cope up with it. And I'm sure the people are very grateful for that. But as the situation stands, the hospitality industry is not working in Spain, and it will not continue to do so at least till the end of the season, which is the summer season. Spain is mostly a tourism country. A lot of their revenue comes from tourism. So for them to not be able to function during this period affects their economy a lot. And that's very evident because they're trying their hardest to get it back to normal. Well, I think that's my call. So thank you so much for your time. And thank you for having me. Have a nice day and stay safe.
Thank you so much. All right, moving over to New Zealand now. We've got Werribee with us, graduated in 2019, doing a postgraduate diploma from New Zealand. Over to you, Werribee. Werribee, can you hear us?
No. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Werribee. One moment. One second. Yes, say something. Yes, say something. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Awesome. Am I audible now?
Absolutely loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Ahmad. Hello to all the dignitaries and IIHM alumni. Hope you all are doing great, staying safe and healthy at home. My name is Werribee and I'm a proud alumni of IIHM Bangalore. I graduated in the year 2019. I am currently pursuing my postgraduate diploma in hotel management in New Zealand, and it's getting pretty interesting and realistic day by day. My entire journey of 3 years at IIHM Bangalore has been a roller coaster ride with lots of memories of happiness, sadness, and a lot of quality learning too. With the kind of education that IIHM offers, it shapes you not only to become the best in your career, but to be on top of life. Along with interesting yet boring lectures, we had hundreds of activities to choose from, and I dived into participating in almost everything that came by me. Be it ODCs done for Deepi's wedding, food fairs, or vice yours, we IIHM rocked it at all. All this truly helped me shape into a better professional. I was also enrolled into a course from University of West London, which gave me a broader perspective of the education system, which is entirely different from the system we Indians follow. It makes us read, think, research, and come up with unique ideas. And I've grown since being at IIHM. I may not be the best in my area of interest, but the college has given me that potential to scrutinize whatever comes by my side professionally and deal with it tactically. My college has prepared me so well that I could overcome my deepest fear of fitting in. We may not realize it, but we're quite prepared for our future. The values we gain at home and at school comes to full play after we step out of college. It is not only to network, but also to gain insight into various experience and use others' expertise to improve ourselves. And if you agree to catch up on the good old times. So talking about COVID-19, we all know that it has made the world turn upside down. It has affected almost all industries, but made a massive hit on hospitality sector. Hotels and restaurants shut down, customers are restricted on traveling, and millions of people became unemployed across the world. since New Zealand is a small developed country, it was easier to control the increase in number of COVID-19 cases. PM Jacinda Ardern put the entire nation under level 4 lockdown for 5 weeks as soon as she found out the growth in number of cases. Luckily, we are under level 3 and we'll be moving to level 2 eventually. And the government is being very supportive, like how Mr. Chakrabarty mentioned that the government is paying 80% of the subsidies of the employees. Our government is also promoting local tourism for the economy to sustain and has decided not to open the borders for longer time. And we hoteliers are optimistic and will recover the industry losses sooner. I want to thank my teachers for this opportunity, and seeking their blessings, I shall persevere to be a worthy student that IIHM produced. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so very much. And moving over, we've got with us Mr. Deepesh Paul Thakur. He's the Global Director for Local to Global Advocacy and Impact, working for World Vision International. He's worked in Mongolia, Philippines, and now is back into Nepal, working from home in a global capacity. And of course, Nepal is a lovely, lovely country, just the right place to be in during the lockdown. Over to you, Mr. Deepesh.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely loud and clear.
Indeed, Nepal is a beautiful place to be in during the lockdown. The number of cases is around 90 at present. And I echo the sentiments of all the other speakers who've said that the industry, and after doing the hotel management in International Institute of Hotel Management, it opens up a lot of doors. I'm in depth, and I go back to the memory lane of recalling our association with Mr. Chaudhary, Soma Ma'am, Mr. and Mrs. Bose, Sabu Janather, and others. It's been a great memory and all the experience that has brought me thus far. So after completing my hotel management, I worked for Taj Group of Hotel for a year, then made a 360-degree shift to my career, joining the non-profit organization called World Vision International. In doing so, I also completed my master's, as well as completed my master's in business studies, as well as human rights. As you said, I've worked in Nepal, I've worked in Mongolia, I've worked in Philippines, and at present working with the global office. I just wanted to share about some of the work that we have been doing. We are working and responding to the COVID-19 cases around more than 60 countries around the globe, already served around more than 22 million people. The focus of my work is to provide leadership and guidance in various regions across the world, which includes Asia, Africa, Latin America, Middle East, and Europe as well. And the concentration of my work is to really see that how the priorities in terms of reaching the most vulnerable children are given due attention by the government and various stakeholders during the COVID-19 response, as well as preparing the country and offices to see that how they get ready to the aftershock of this particular pandemic. And as the WHO lead said, that we are waiting for another pandemic, that is the pandemic of hunger that a lot of countries would face too. So how do we prepare various countries and entities around it to be resilient and try to see that how the needs of the most vulnerable, especially the children, are taken into account? In the topic that is given for this discussion with respect to how we build a resiliency among the hospitality industry, I've got two propositions out here. We as hospitality industry does not only prosper in isolation. We are working in a setting, in a society, in a community, in a country. We do have a role in terms of this contribution, and we would urge to see that as you grow, as you survive, and as you thrive, as a lot of other speakers have said, do not forget the corporate social responsibility in reaching to others. Another important aspect for you to consider as you thrive, as you bounce back, is to see that how you contribute towards the Sustainable Development Goals, Sustainable Development Framework, which the world leaders have agreed to, and contribute towards reducing hunger and other aspects that the industry could really contribute to. Last but not the least, be safe. I think this particular pandemic also provides us an opportunity to be and bond with the family. In the industry, we had 12-hour shift and so forth and so on. Utilize this time to be really, be happy with the family. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Moving over to Ankit Pathak in Kuwait. He is currently with the front office department with Accor Hotels there. Over to you, Ankit.
Audible?
Yes, we can't see you.
Please allow me a moment. Now
we can.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank all the doctors who is fighting with coronavirus in the front line for all of us. And thank you, Mr. Bose and Mrs. Bose, Sanchari ma'am and Mansi ma'am for giving me the opportunity to speak up regarding in eConclave meet. If I start about my career, I'm an ex-student of IIHM Bangalore 2015-18 batch. I started my career with ITC Bangalore Whitefield. After the year, I was also a part of Fairfield Marriott Pune. I was also a part of pre-opening team where I learned the basics of hospitality and SOPs. And if I talk about how the hotel industry affected by this COVID-19, so if I talk about Kuwait, the 75% of GDP contribution is coming in Kuwait with oil and rest 25% from tourism and IT sectors. And if I talk about the tourism, the whole Kuwait is completely locked down. And luckily, we are running with 40% occupancy in the hotel. Still, I have a shift today. And due to the complete curfew, the price of oil also become low and it is affecting the government GDP and also the tourist and IT hubs. So as of now, I can say that I'm proud to be a student of IIHM, and being a student of IIHM is not only a career option for me, it's a life-changing experience. So, and I would also like to thank all my family members of IIHM. Be healthy, be safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that was Ankit from Kuwait. All right, moving on to Mr. Bhavesh Dolakia from Australia. He's a chef at Grand Hyatt, Melbourne. Over to you, Chef Bhavesh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bhavesh, and
can't see you, Chef.
I would like. I'm audible.
You are audible, but we can't see you. If you could just check with your camera.
Yeah. There is a network issue. If I start that one and
carry on.
Yeah, that's why. I started my journey with Hyatt Regency, Birmingham, USA, and it was quite difficult. When I joined college, I was not able to speak like proper English, and I was struggling myself. And then my faculty member helped me to improve my communication, and now here I'm in Melbourne, but I'm working at Grand Hyatt Melbourne, and due to COVID-19, our hotel is temporarily closed for like 2 months, but our manager is thinking like it will be open soon next month because now the coronavirus cases is going down, and I think it will be good opportunity when the coronavirus is gone. So I hope the hotel industry go fast because many people lost their jobs, and government is doing very good, so it will be very helpful for them. And I would like to thank especially Mansi ma'am and Sanchari ma'am and Bose. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bhavesh. And we'll just move to Mr. Arthur Marusiwik from Australia. He's a lawyer in Canberra, Australia. Mr. Arthur, over to you. Mr. Arthur?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, and I can see you as well. Lovely. Please.
Hi, nice. Thank you for having me. Look, it's been a long time since I've been associated with the college. Probably around 10 years now. I don't work in the hospitality anymore, but it's been a long journey. I was in the 2008 and 2011 batch. I still remember with fond memories, Mr. Bitam Boss, dancing his words in the classrooms. But that's what paved the way for many of us to build our careers, particularly me. I came to Australia in 2011 to pursue my career in hospitality. But my heart was always in the law. So I started studying law in 2013, and I have been in practice ever since. Now, look, as I said, I'm not associated with the hospitality industry anymore, but I do understand and read a few things here and there, particularly in the Australian context. Look, as many have already mentioned, the government put a lockdown in Australia. The hospitality industry seems to have suffered the most. Around 80% of the businesses have lost, they've lost their business. There are talks now of recovery in terms of opening up the restaurants and bars and cafes and so on. This is supposed to happen probably in a couple of weeks. The takeaway facilities are still available, but what has been a learning curve for many businesses in Australia and the hospitality industry in particular is the takeaway service that is being offered using technology has picked up a lot, and that is something businesses will consider going forward in the future post-COVID. And I'm sure post-COVID, once everything has recovered, I'm sure utilizing technology, it will form a big part of businesses offering their hospitality services. Having said all that, I'm sure we're all going to recover. This is just a time frame, a phase that we're all going through. I read about India as well. Again, it's a phase. You will all get through it like we go through it, and we'll see the other side. I'm sure businesses will start thriving. Your careers won't be down the drain, don't worry. You're all going to do quite well. As businesses recover, demand for employment will increase incredibly, I suppose, and we'll all one day be sitting where we are, the alumni, and probably giving a talk like this to the future generations. So look, thank you for having me. Thank you to Madam Bose, to Mr. Bose, and everyone else who have organized this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your lovely thoughts. And from Australia, we move over to the other part of the world, to Canada now. We've got Mizanuddin waiting as Director of Operations, Andrews Senior Care, Murphy's Healthcare, Atlantic, Canada. So he will be talking from Canada now. Over to you, Mr. Mizanuddin.
Hello, everyone. So I think for me, I've been in India for like all my entire career. I recently moved here in Feb. So it's been like 3 months now. I passed out in 2009 from IIHM Kolkata. And I was working with, I worked initially with Radisson Heathrow for about a couple of years. Then we moved back to India. We started studying again at IIHM Kolkata, and Ma'am Bose was there to help and guide us during that period. I still remember that phase. And then I started working with Accor. I was with them for about close to a decade. And my last assignment was with IBIS Kolkata. That helped me connect a lot more with IIHM family. Again, participating in numerous events that, they're great at doing, and, everything that is so innovative, same as the one that we are sitting right now and talking about how we can, build up resilience against this COVID-19 and hospitality. So I think I have a little bit of say when it comes to hospitality because of the decade experience that I had. And then I can just quickly talk about the senior care sector that we talk about, where we take care of the old vulnerable people in Canada. That is, where we've got most of these people in nursing care who stays with us at, Andrews Senior Care. It's part of Murphy Healthcare and pharmacy sector. So yeah, it's been, I think in Canada they call it, baptism by fire. So I landed at the time when, things are not that great, but it does help. So in terms of hospitality, I think it's important to be positive, but at the same time, it's really important that we understand that it's not going to bounce back as quickly as we see. A lot of experts and WHO is saying that there will be second wave, and it will be much more stronger than the first one, and a lot of comments about living with coronavirus. But I think the important thing is about preparation. Whether it is personally in terms of developing our skill sets to ensure that we are much more prepared for the need and demands of the skill set that will be required in future, because companies are going to be lean in terms of manning moving forward. There will be new segment with, I think, higher than a core they are talking about in terms of the healthcare, not really healthcare, but the cleanliness and hygiene perspective. There will be hygiene officers and so on and so forth. So I think it's important that we really ups our skill, because that will be the need of the day moving forward. Preparation as an organization, I think it's important that we are well prepared. If I talk about healthcare sector, we are working on PPEs, ensuring that we have sufficient supplies just in case there is an outbreak. So I think a lot of things are being done, not just looking at what or where we are right now, but how things could pan out in future, and we are well prepared. And I think as a community, I think it's really important that we understand our roles and responsibilities and work accordingly. Hospitality, I think in India, domestic travelers definitely will bounce back, because I think 80% travelers are domestic in the mid-scale segment. But I think, yes, luxury and MICE will take a little time, but as one of the panelists was saying, that it will bounce back, and it will bounce back strong. For sure, there is a lot of opportunity that's going to come in future. I think I will just sum up saying that just enhance your skills. I think that's really important. Adapt yourself. I had 2 opportunities in Canada. I was supposed to work in hotels, and then I had an offer to join healthcare, and I decided that I'll just coronavirus did not happen back then, but I just decided that, let's explore something different. And that's where I landed in the healthcare sector. And I'm fortunate that there's a different learning altogether. So just be open, try new avenues, and I think everything should be fine. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mizan from Canada. How's the temperature there at this point in time, Mizan?
Oh, there was a notification for snowstorm, but thankfully it's all fine today.
All right, snowstorm. We are here in the middle of Delhi, and well, the temperatures are soaring every day. Trust me, you are at a great place, and we are jealous of you. Anyway, moving over to Mr. Ashish Kumar, General Manager, Hyatt Regency Lucknow, who is going to talk to all of us. Over to you, Mr. Kumar.
Good evening, everybody from Lucknow. Journey with IIHM has been for the last 24 years. I'm the batch of 1996, 1999 pass out. I was trained with the Oberoi Grand Calcutta, worked with a couple of chains, Taj, ITC, Claridge's, and now for last 11 years with Hyatt Regency, Hyatt brand, worked with Regency and Park brand. So we all started with a job. I started with from Bell Desk from JP Palace, Agra, and then was an internal management trainee, and then kept growing up the ladder, and somehow became general manager. Practice, a lot of things, a lot of discipline is required, and that's how kept me moving. It's very important to be connected with the team, be honest to yourself, and hard work. There is no substitute of hard work, is what I feel. And the most important thing I feel is that if you manage yourself, you can manage everything. Pandemic is changing the hospitality industry. I completely agree. Everything is going to be a new normal that we say now. We have to, the business bubbles would remain the same, and we need to take care of all our stakeholders. It's important that we have basically a very new defined prototype for all our activities that we do in our daily life, and have a different business model in which we can exceed. And the most important thing is to take care of our people and excel in whatever we are doing. A lot of new initiatives which I see going to come. The industry will revive. It may take some time. It all depends that how we are going to come back. One thing is very clear, that everything was going to start with ground zero, and it all depends that how we want to take over the market again. Nevertheless, during this pandemic, and as we are quarantined, it's very important to be connected to our people, family, our colleagues, associates, to have empathy. Well-being, meditation is something that we should practice. We should have a hobby, and we should make note of all our accomplishments, and we should also try to write down our weakness, what we have been struggling to achieve, and we should have an action plan for that. And we have to be more responsible and accountable for our industries. I always have a vision that how can we contribute to the coming generation, and how we can strengthen them, and how much I can participate to give back to my next generation. Very proud of our college. Whatever we are because of our college. Definitely, Mr. and Mrs. Bose have played a vital role. All our faculties have done a great role to shape and to bring us where we are. And that's how the family has expanded for the last so many years. And we will keep expanding. We should take pride in ourselves that we belong to such great college. And we shouldn't forget we have much more responsibility now, and we are much more accountable towards our industry. All of us can contribute in some or the other manner, and we should do that in a very holistic approach, and I'm sure we will win. Thank you very much. It's a great platform to be connected. This new initiative, Mr. Bose has always been coming up with new ideas. We salute, and I still learn a lot from him. Thank you very much. And let's get connected again sometime in future. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much, Mr. Ashish Kumar. I really love that background that you put of all IIHM campuses, and I love you for that.
Yeah, I put that as a virtual background.
Absolutely. I can see all the campuses out there, and you can have one ice cream from my side tonight for putting this a special concert or a special for you.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was absolute lovely to connect with all of you. We had one more speaker with us. Unfortunately, he could not connect, Mr. Sunanda Joshi from 2004 batch. And he had to go on some very important assignment. He left a note for me to read out, which says that he takes pride in the hospitality industry, and he's very proud of he being an alumni of the institute. He's very positive, and he's hopeful that we are going to come out victorious after this COVID-19. Unfortunately, he could not join us, and that was his message from Serbia. Well, by now, all those people who tuned in for the last 2 hours have traveled around the globe. So there was a movie which said around the world in 88 days. We say travel the world or around the globe in 2 hours. Over to you, Dr. Bose, for the closing.
I wish this will go on and on and on. I hate to do the closing remark, but then yes, like all good things, it has to come to an end. But I think, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for bringing all the fondest of the fondest memories by seeing you guys. It make us again extra positive, give us that extra energy to work extra hard from today. I think it's always a huge thing to see the alumni success, and nothing is as important in the educator's life than seeing their own pupil getting successful in the world. So as David said in the initial opening remark, I think I'll just echo the same thing, that we are stronger than our obstacle. We are stronger than our obstacle. And believe me, trust me, I've seen that so many things over the last 2 months of this C-19 crisis. And I see more than anything else, huge dose of innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And so that thought I want to leave with all the fantastic alumni that you are the leader, you are the guy who are leading the hospitality industry, and it's so up to you. The hospitality industry, to a great extent, is in great hands. It's in your hand. So show the leadership, and I'm sure that will come out stronger than ever before, because we are stronger than the obstacle. And with that, I'd like to say a thank you very much to my team at IIHM who have organized this fabulous eConclave, the first ever global eConclave with the alumnus of IIHM, and thank all the current students for being such great audience also. It's not just out here, but also in the Facebook Live and YouTube Live. There has been thousands and thousands of people who have seen this program live. And thanks Abdullah Ahmed for once again doing a BBC News kind of moderation. So thanks everybody, thanks alumni, thanks speakers, and thanks the entire IIHM family for being with us. It's been an absolute fantastic 2 hours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bose. Thank you everybody for logging in. It is exactly 4 minutes and 4.1 minute, 4 hours and 1 minute by my watch, and we have to call off the day. Thank you for tuning in to IIHM Career Studio and to this global conclave. Wish you all the very best. Enjoy your day. Have a great time ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Keep positive. Remember, IIHM is about dare to do. It's the unstoppable spirit that will keep going on. Wish you all the best. Thank you for logging in. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you. We can all log out now. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.